mold face from the old TSR promotional dice. But before we do that, we want to cover a couple of things. Mainly the Kickstarter that just finished up, and some of our plans, and just some general points of interest. So first off, we want to promotional dice. Before we do that, all right, I'm getting feedback. I don't know if anybody else is hearing that. Mainly the Kickstarter that just
Someone's watching the live feed.
That's my computer. Yep.
You're watching yourself.
That was me. Well, I'm a Luddite. I don't know what the hell I'm doing, so. But first thing we're going to cover is the Kickstarter.
Kickstarter?
And, yeah.
So if I share my screen, will that come up? All right. So Kickstarter. Yes, so I just threw a couple slides together. This is showing, you know, the blue is kind of a percentage of what our first Kickstarter, the Swamp Stalkers, brought in. You can see that with the orange, the Amazons, we pretty much doubled our outreach. You know, the number of people who decided to pledge money for us, so that's awesome. And then with Frostwings, you can see it's an even bigger slice of the pie. So I just wanted to throw this up there to say, hey, you know, we're getting more social outreach, we're getting more engagement with the Kickstarter community, and that's excellent. It's given us a lot more options moving forward. This next slide, I think you can probably see. This next slide was, let's see, what is this? This is a by country. You know, just to show you kind of where our players are, where our backers are. It's no big surprise that United States, you know, is like the smart kid in math class. He's blowing the bell curve. So if I take him out, you know, we know that the U.S., yeah, U.S. #1. You know, the second one's actually Great Britain, you know, where they're spending our money. And then Canada and Australia are, you know, the next most populous. Australia, good job. Australia, you jumped ahead of Canada there for this third Kickstarter.
I'm trying to make it happen.
Shouldn't Australia be below
the line?
Negative numbers?
No. All right. Well,
I never get tired of that joke from you.
You never do it? Is it funny every time? Yeah. And then this last one, I actually changed from a sum to an average of what people spent, just to show you that, you know, in this case, you can see U.S. is down here. You know, the average amount per backer, you know, is a lot smaller than some other countries. We just, the previous slides, there were just so many of them. You know, we did have one very large Japan backer in the Amazon Kickstarter who's blowing the curve here. But, you know, for this one, you know, both Australia, Canada, and Great Britain per backer, you know, they tend to pledge more than the average Kickstarter American backer did. So, you know what?
I can probably name the offenders over in Australia.
Well, you probably can, but you know what? This is just, it's for the next one. You know, we're always going to have another Kickstarter. Come on, US. We got to bump those numbers up. Those are rookie numbers. All right. Those are the only metrics I had time to put together, the only ones that are really interesting. Oh, good. Okay. What was the next topic on the agenda? Is it Gen Con?
Well, done? I know Josh has got time constraints, so he wanted to talk about the expanding footprint we have on social media.
Yeah, we've achieved some pretty cool stuff this year. The Discord server has been become an official resource now, and that's tying in with a lot of efforts on Tabletopia and YouTube as well. So we have an awful lot of praise to go towards Travis and to Zach for heading the charge on those fronts. We're getting a lot of new people on Discord. We're getting some regular tournaments on Tabletopia. It's all looking pretty cool. And just in the last week or so, we have joined TikTok. So we've got one video up there so far, and we're just sort of working out what sort of content we want to create there, and we'll probably have at least a post or two every week on that platform as well.
Yeah, we're gonna have to figure out what the next new trend is in TikTok. If anyone out there has an idea, please let us know.
Yeah, we'd like to try and stay current. The other cool thing that I dropped a couple of little hints a number of weeks ago now on the Dragon Dice Players Community Facebook page. There were a couple of little screenshots of a project that's being worked on in the background. And I won't say a heap about it, but the players map, which has been a Google map that I've been manually updating, may become a thing of the past, hopefully by the end of this year. And we might see that system develop into something a lot bigger to bring our community together. And so, yeah, so watch this space and keep your eyes out open for more hints that come up on the various groups. I don't know if we want to say any more about that. I think that's probably enough.
That's probably enough. Keep it a secret.
Yeah, keep them talking.
Okay, since I know Josh is waiting to actually go run a demo.
Oh, I've got about 20 minutes.
20 minutes? Oh, well.
Well, hang around, have a cup of coffee with us then. All right. I guess next topic we're going to touch upon is the conventions for this year. Now, we have made the decision not to attend Origins. I know we were discussing it for 2019, and then the proverbial feces hit the fan, and 2020 was canceled in its entirety. But there's still, we still think there are some organizational issues that need to be dealt with before we commit to Origins, and that wasn't going to happen this year. There was no, it was missing some firm commitment, so we've pretty much bowed out of Origins for the year, and we hope to be in for 2022 or it will be 22. And so we will be doing Gen Con and hopefully, knock on wood, PAX Unplugged.
Yes, yeah, and Origins, it just, they had to pick a new date because they didn't, wouldn't be ready here in a couple weeks with the world. So, but the date that they picked in September, it was a bad weekend for a lot of people. Not that Gen Con picked much of a better date, but for anyone who's been following, the Gen Con, there have been, some players are definitely going, some players are bowing out. Some of the companies, have committed to go. Some large companies have bowed out. We are definitely going to go, but because we know this is a crazy year, as far as booth and events, we are actually going to take a different focus than what we've normally done. And so we're going to focus mostly on new player acquisition. So whereas previously, we'd done a lot of constructed events, this year we decided to go ahead and go all in with just the learn to play and sealed events. And so, just as you go, a little preview, Gen Con, we were lucky enough to be one of the companies who are allowed to hold events, but, they will be both those demo and then the sealed. But we are planning to go ahead and, give, prizes for those sealed events. Now, you may be wondering, hey, who's going to be the world champion? Well, we'll talk about that. That may actually change to be an online format again this year. We'll have to see what the interest is. So everyone, give us your feedback and let us know. Would you be interested in playing in online constructed events around the same time as Gen Con, or what? But as far as those of us who are going to be feet on the ground in Indianapolis, that is our plan.
Tabletopia certainly gives us a lot more flexibility there in bringing our global community together. Because I know being over in one of the other countries, some people can feel like they miss out on the world champion title.
Well, you have no excuse to try this year. And again, you know what? A lot of props go to, Travis and everyone else who helped to set that up. It was a lot of work getting the artwork prepared and put into place.
Everybody who was instrumental in getting Tabletopia up, just did a phenomenal job.
A lot of hours spent doing some very tricky coding.
Okay.
Yep.
Yes, and just the last convention, like T. Scott said, we are planning to go to PAX Unplugged. There is a date, but they haven't even started their planning yet. So, we're hoping that everything will, stay good and that they'll hold that convention as planned. Whereas in 2020, they also just completely didn't have it. They didn't even pretend to have it. All right, what's next on the agenda?
The whole work with Tabletopia brings up a nice segue into over the next couple of months, we are going to be assigning certain people that have gone above and beyond with helping us increase our presence, etc., with the honorary title of champions. So look for more information on that down the line. Basically it's bragging rights at this point, but it's better than being an unsung hero that doesn't get recognized.
Yeah, so we have some real standout individuals amongst our community, and it's good that they get some recognition for what they've been doing.
Absolutely, and I have to say, I still think that this is one of the best communities. I received a comment from the owner of Vintage Valley Games, where I am running demos every Thursday, and he made a comment that he's involved with a lot of online communities, and the short time that he's been here, he said that did I see Draculum?
Nope.
Yeah,
no,
that clip.
No.
But he said that the Dragon Dice Players Community Forum is probably one of the most pleasant and non-confrontational that he's been a part of. And we have every one of you guys to thank for that. The majority of the discussions that take place are civilized, which in this day and age is a rarity within itself. And I've been on the board now for what, two years? Cliff, how long have I been a part of this?
Forever.
Well, since '95, but I mean, official part. But I have to say,
I think 2.
It's been a pleasure. 2?
Yeah, board member for 2 years, president for 1.
Okay. And I have to say, it's been a pleasure dealing with everybody. I don't think I have a bad thing to say about anybody. That I can say on camera. So, But I want to thank everybody that's been a part of the game for so long, because of people like you and your support, your continued support, that this game has lasted for 25 years. And with any luck, it'll be around for 25 more. Now, I know Cliff has hinted at it, so I guess we're going to cover those little tidbits that you just flashed across the screen.
Whatever you wish.
All right. Last point we want to cover, I guess. Our next Kickstarter is already being planned, and we'll be revealing more about that. But because of the overwhelming response to the previous 3 Kickstarters we've had, we have put ourselves in a position where we can start actually creating new product, not just here or there. Our next Kickstarter will be an entirely new species called the Draculum. We've released the champions, or will be releasing them as promo dice for various SFOB books that Chris Schmitz has been diligently writing. So that's a bit of a sneak peek. But we've had some comments that, all you're doing is rehashing old dice, and that's not the case, because Draculum, we are developing new icons for them. So it will be totally new, except for your champions that have already been seen.
Right. Well, and I would say, I'd go one step further to say even these champions, will remain, as promotional, because just because of the way the manufacturing, like for example, these obviously, yes, they use the Dragonkin icons, and they have the rounded corners as dice are usual from that. The expected plan is, we'll use a different company to actually make the kicker version, and they will be the square-edged compression dice instead of these rounded edge injected. And we'll likely, I expect, use the same icons as the rest of the race, the rest of the species. Cliff said the bad word.
You said the bad word. You said the R word.
I said the bad word. So the rest of the species has
stocks later.
Yeah, so it will be the same die from play-wise, but it will also allow it to retain a little bit of uniqueness and promotionalness.
Okay. I don't want to open up my talking points page because my computer is kind of wonky. I think we covered everything, right? Did we forget anything, guys?
I can have a look at the talking points document.
I think all 3 of us are going to open it.
You guys have talking points?
Who can get there first?
Well,
didn't we share the agenda with you?
We're trying to appear organized. It doesn't always work that way.
All right, let's see. We did the Kickstarter.
Yep, we've done everything.
Champions, program, GenCon packs.
Yep. I think maybe we should let Travis do a plug for the next tournament before we move on to the Q&A.
As long as it's not a TikTok dance. But yeah, that would be cool for the next tournament coming up. If anyone's not seen it yet, we do tournaments every month, starting on the first of the month. We organize it in Discord. So find our Discord invite link, join the Discord. Next month is Monster Bash. So 60 points of monsters, no more than 2 of each monster. So 15 10-sided dice for your monster army.
15 trolls.
No more than 2 of the same. So 2 trolls, 2 fire shadows, 2 remoras.
2 minor deaths.
Yep, that's half of most people's army.
Yeah.
Yep, I think we just shouted out what my army is. But yeah, that's starting June 1st, so get your army assembled, get it submitted, join the Discord so you can register and submit the army.
Minor
There's some
terrains and
pretty
dragon
cool
control.
Yep. There's some cool little utilities that we've got for getting those armies in there. So you can jump on Discord and find the instructions in there, but you can build your army virtually on the official webpage on the Army Analyzer and submit that through our Discord bot, Melchior, and things will happen magically.
And as long as we have 8 players or more, the more players, the better rewards. There will be tournament prizes. We've been handing out Alt Ink Swamp Stalkers, the Purple Ink Swamp Stalkers, as tournament winners in the past. So yeah, there are prizes.
Yeah, and I think that the Shoemaker family, has finally gotten all of them, so maybe they'll let someone else win for once.
Not bloody likely. So what we're going to do now, I have a grand total of 2,460 entries on this wheel. And we are going to now draw the winner of the TSR mold phase, if nobody has any objections. And unfortunately, the SF4 board members are not eligible, so there's no bias involved.
I knew there'd be a negative to it.
Well, there always is.
Well, I can't see the stream, but
Donald Bell.
Woo! Yeah.
all right. Woo, good job.
Congratulations.
Yeah, we will, I guess, reach out and get that shipped out.
Well,
That's a real piece of collector history there.
There's never going to be any more of these, so you're getting something that a lot of collectors would be looking for, and you got it, Donald. We'll reach out to you and find out how you want us to mail it, if you want us sent with the Kickstarter, or would you like it under separate cover so you can begin bragging about it.
All right, yes, and do you have it there, D. Scott, just to show for people who may be watching and not know what we just did?
I do have it.
All right, so he's got that. It's a little piece of metal. It's got the TSR logo. So the Dragon Slayer, if you're familiar, it's always had a company logo. We, of course, love our SFR shield, but previous versions of this had the TSR, and that is the actual piece of metal that we used to create these dice. Yep, the one that came in the Cast of Fate book.
Yep. Yep, there you go.
And I'm sure I have one on the bookcase here behind me. But all right.
I have in the other room. I think everybody here has one at this point.
Yes, I think I have 2 or 3 behind me.
All right.
So if there's no Q&A.
There were a couple of questions I'll start bringing up.
All right.
So in the meantime, if anyone has any questions, ask it in the Facebook group, and I'll to the stream, and I'll bring them up to the board. So one of the first questions from Jennifer is relating to the Amazon's Kickstarter. When should I be receiving my minor terrain from the Amazon's Kickstarter?
Yes, so those are, depending on which country it is, if you're in the U.S., let me look at the calendar. I'm guessing sometime within the next fortnight. So the remaining ones, some of them they've been getting sent out in waves. The rest of them should get sent out next week in early June. So if you have not gotten it by June 11th, please let us know.
There's another question, although I don't know if we can get some clarification in the chat on this question. But Will is asking about, he's curious about the Draculums, so anything anybody wants to share about the Draculums. Also, are the hybrids slated to meet 3 prints? I'm not sure if that's referencing hybrid dragons or what that question is referencing. But yeah, anything you guys want to share about the Draculum?
Okay.
It's going to kick butt. we don't want to give away too much about Draculum.
Right. I would say,
as we get closer.
Yeah, they are, designs have been done. Play testing and balance is obviously very important. And so, we want to make, polish those off as much as we can.
As always,
if there's a more specific question.
Okay. Their species ability will be cliff winds.
Yes,
I thought that
always.
was the Earth Fang ability.
It is. It's both.
It's in the game a lot.
Follow-on question to that, I am curious about the new icons.
Okay.
New icons for
I assume
Draculum?
I assume the Draculum.
Yeah, for the Draculum. Yes, I don't know that I have that file easily at hand.
So there is a file.
Let me see.
Well, we have some sketches, but they were sent.
Yeah, we have concepts. We haven't finalized anything yet. They're still being fine-tuned. So let's see.
All right, so I have a couple pictures here. Ooh, I like this picture. I'm going to go ahead and share this one. But yes, like D. Scott said, so I'm going to share this, but it is definitely just a artist draft, and anything is likely to change at any time. Now, this is something, obviously we have the bronze, the silver, and the gold. You notice this one, it was put together prior to the decision to change manufacturing companies, so it still shows the rounded corner instead of the square corners on that champion level. I don't remember exactly which level this is, but of course you can see that it is definitely Dragonkin-ish expired, but also Golem inspired.
Those are really
and you
cool
can
looking.
see a couple examples here. This is at this point in time there was an ironclad belly that's just under the face there, and then an idea of a melee icon that we were playing around with. But just a little bit of a teaser there.
Yeah, they are subject to refinement, change, etc. But
always subject to change.
Yeah, right up until we pull the pin on it, which is par for the course around here.
All right. So I got some clarification on one of the other questions. Are the hybrid dragons slated to meet the reprints? As far as I'm aware, they're not sold out or anything. There's no need for a reprint.
No. Yeah, I mean, if the web store or something is showing those out of stock, let us know, because that is in error, because I'm looking at several of them.
This sort of ties into a little bit of bragging rights that we can make, that the result of that wonderful pie chart at the beginning of this stream means that there is no fear of anything going out of stock at this point.
for an extended period anyway. There may be a gap of month, maybe 2 months, depending on because of production times but the good thing is we are in a position where we don't have to worry about 2 years and 3 years of a product being out of stock.
So in response to that,
I think that's a first for the company.
that is an awesome place to be, and that's exciting me as a player. A follow-up question to that. Okay, so just the metal dragons are in jeopardy? So it's that if the metal dragons sell out in the web store, are those not going to be reprinted?
Oh, yes, I would say that is true. That was a special thing that was an arrangement between SFR and Level Up Dice to get those produced. And that arrangement has since passed. So we have no plans to reprint those or get any more, unfortunately.
It's one of the ways that we're helping the collectors.
It's also playing havoc on my OCD because I'm missing 5 of the metal dragons.
I know you are, and this is a case where I'm the numbers guy, so for people who don't know, I'm actually the SFR treasurer, and I'm the one who has to come into these groups and say, that's really cool, but I can't sell enough of them. I can't make it profitable. It either costs too much or it's too crazy. The price point's too high, our market bandwidth is too small.
What I'm hearing, Scott, is it's your fault you didn't buy enough of them. Another question.
Well, I think 4 sets is enough.
Another question back to the Draculum. Are those the only classes?
So, no. It is, I can say, going to be a full race of 20 different dice. Species. Okay. Thank you. It will be a full product of 20 dice that comes in all 3 of the metallic alloys. And so, actually, what we have seen as the promotional die with the books, the novels, is only 1 of those 20. So the idea is that instead of having 10-sided monsters, it will instead have this 4 health champion, similar to the way the Dragonkin were originally designed.
And then one of the other questions that has come up, you mentioned champion status. Can you comment on where and what social media avenues that would be on?
I'm going to throw that one to Josh.
So we have been toying around with an officially unofficial title of a community champion to recognize people who have played an integral part in helping promote the game. So these people, there are a couple around already, and they are helping on various platforms: Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, Discord, YouTube, and helping with conventions and all manner of different things that occur in the background to keep this game going. So, as Scott said earlier, we will be announcing something about that in the very near future. Once we talk to a few people and see if they're actually willing to take on the title with all of the responsibilities and none of the rights that go with it, as volunteer work often does. But we're very grateful for people, and the way you achieve it, I guess, is probably the next question that's going to come in, which is
busting your butt,
like all of it. So we all put a lot of volunteer effort into the company and the game. Not everybody can be on the board or have an officer role within the company, and we recognize the people that help the board and the officers out in achieving everything that they do. We would not be here without the community and without some people who over a large number of years have put in a lot of effort. So yeah, the way to achieve it is to become a slave to the company.
So like the gnomes.
Is that right, Travis?
Yes. I totally get 2 breaks a day, no lunch needed. I use that 15-minute break to sleep.
Wait a second. Who authorized that?
Chuck's not here. It was Chuck. Chuck did it.
It wasn't me. Okay, well, we're going to have a word with Chuck.
Well, gentlemen, before we get another question come in, I'm going to have to leave and leave all of our viewers as well. I have to race off to a demo day. It is 9:40 in the AM in Australia on the East Coast, and I am demonstrating Dragon Dice at a friendly local game store about an hour away from me. So awesome. My vehicle is packed, and I'm going to go off and try and convert some masses.
Go roll those dragons.
Yeah. Alrighty.
Enjoy.
No worries. Thank you. See everyone later.
Have a good day.
Okay. Any other questions?
Right.
We're right around the 40-minute mark.
There is one more question. I think this is in response to the metal dragons. What about squishy foam dragons?
That is an excellent idea. That is something that we will have to look into, like anything else. We'll have to see what the manufacturing options there are. If there is anyone out there that knows of a way to get those manufactured, a company that does that, please let us know. And I'm assuming that would be the D12, the 12-sided die, the dodecahedron, not actually a dragon.
Well,
I just gotta say, as a math geek, as a total nerd, I love Euclidean solids. So, I have myself made several dodecahedrons. People who have come to Gen Con and actually seen there's a large black dragon die that we have there. That's one that I made that my daughter painted for us many years ago. I've made them out of wood. I love geometry. So that sounds like something really awesome. We would just have to, like I said, sorry, wet blanket money guy.
Yeah, it all comes down to demand, cost per unit, etc. But definitely something to be looked into. Perhaps as a stretch goal for the next Kickstarter. Who knows? We're always looking for ideas, and usually they're last minute for the stretch goals for the Kickstarter. So.
And one final question, and as we close off, hey, how often do you stream?
Not often enough.
This is our second announcement stream, I believe.
Yeah, I think we had one last June, so we're right at a yearly cadence. So look forward. You'll see me about once a year. So I'll go into hibernation. D. Scott streams more than I do.
I could say I stream every time I finish off a bottle of Gatorade, but that would be kind of...
All right, Scott's just getting to him, so...
And as far as gameplay videos, we have a few players who have streamed their own gameplay on Twitch, but we do try and record a lot of our Discord Tabletopia tournament games and get those uploaded to YouTube after the game is played. So if you're not watching our YouTube channel, subscribe, watch that. There's lots of games being posted on there.
Yes, definitely subscribe. Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Discord. The more you subscribe and give us ideas of what you'd like to see, we can get them to you. And even, like I said, the TikTok trends. I am too old for that. But let us know what you'd like to see, and we'll get someone to produce that content.
What can we expect from the new distribution of Magi and Bear Masters?
Equal distribution. You have an equal chance of getting a Bear Master as you do a Magi, as you do a Vindicator. They are all equal. The only step rarity now for the Frost Wings is with the monsters.
With that, I'm not seeing any more questions. So if anybody has questions on watching the live stream, please ask now. Ask quickly. Otherwise, does anybody have any final responses?
No.
No, I just, just one last time to say, thank you to everyone. Especially thank you for being patient. Like all of you, we all have lives, and sometimes they get in the way of things, such as, sending out the miners, or, even having the Kickstarter miners get overlooked in the first place. So thank you for being patient, and thank you for working with us.
Yep, I'm almost out of scotch, so I think we're just about done.
That's our cue.
Well, thank you very much, everybody, for indulging us in this. And Donald, I'll be reaching out to you in regards to the mold face, and we'll have that sent out to you. And congratulations. All right, thank you very much, guys.
All right.
And have a good night.